Roadtrippers, I'm Stephanie Vermillion. I am a travel writer and stargazing and northern lights enthusiast, and I am out here in Iceland in the West Fjords on a stargazing road trip, and I'm going to give you some advice so you can plan a stargazing road trip of your own. When I plan a stargazing road trip, I typically think of about 5 S's that I like to keep in mind. Scouting the location, season, supplies, safety, and where you're going to sleep. Let's start with scouting. Sadly, you can't see the Milky Way just anywhere. Up to 80% of the US population actually can't see the Milky Way from their home because of light pollution. That's why it's super important to scout a good, dark location that has limited light pollution. I use tools like SkySafari's premium service to check out their light pollution map that shows where has little light pollution, where has a lot, and plan my trips accordingly. Other important things to keep in mind when you're scouting your stargazing spot include finding a place that has wide open views to the sky. The more sky you have, the more stars you can likely see, so open horizons are ideal. Build in buffer days. Cloudy skies or rain makes it impossible to see the stars and northern lights, so it's important to have a few extra days just to increase your odds of seeing those night sky sights. Another important consideration is season. The Northern Hemisphere's Milky Way season runs from about spring through fall, so if you hope to see the Milky Way, that's a great time to plan your trip. That said, winter is a great time for northern lights hunting, especially in far north locations like Iceland. Now, you don't have to go north to Iceland to see the northern lights. In places like Michigan or northern Minnesota, you can actually see the northern lights all year. One of the best times I've seen the northern lights was actually on Isle Royale National Park, an island in Lake Superior. You can see northern lights there into July and August because you still get darkness all year round. Another important tip when you're thinking about time of the year or month to go stargazing is to try to get as close to a new moon as possible. The brighter the moon, the more it washes out the stars, so it's better to try to go when it's a newer moon, either the days leading up to or just after. Supplies are critical to make sure your stargazing road trip goes off without a hitch. Some of my favorite items include Additionally, if you're exploring at night, it's important to keep safety in mind. For me, that typically involves bringing a buddy, so I'm not out there by myself. You also want to tell someone where you're going, especially if you're going by yourself, and keep an eye on the forecast for weather, as well as what kind of wildlife are in the area. Also, make sure to scout the area during the day and watch out for things that might make it unsafe at night, such as extreme potholes, or if you will be trespassing, which of course you would not want to do. Just as important as the constellations in the sky is where you decide to camp. We've compiled lists of tons of campgrounds near dark sky certified areas, national parks, and even spots for catching the Aurora Borealis. We'll link to those below. Apps like Campendium are great for locating campgrounds near dark sky destinations such as a national park. Equally helpful is Roadtrippers. The app has a ton of resources for finding cool and unique lodging, be it glamping or camping or hotels, as well as fun things to do during the day because, of course, daylight hours are half of your trip. So with that, it's time for me to get back to my own stargazing and aurora hunting road trip, but I hope you have a great time not only planning, but experiencing the night sky on your next stargazing road trip.